Realme is best known for its affordable yet well-spec'd smartphones and a rather maverick attitude when it comes to design. But today I'm not taking a look at a new smartphone. No, today is all about this, Realme UI 3.0, the brand's latest operating system based on Android 12. So if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Editor G channel for more tech reviews. As I said, Realme always puts emphasis on design, and with Realme UI 3.0, it's more of the same. The icons have been slightly tweaked to look more three-dimensional as compared to the previous version. Of course, they're still minimal and colorful, but they do look a little bit better than before. Moreover, the user interface has been made to look more clutter-free, so buttons are larger and well-spaced, and the entire experience looks more fluid than it ever has. In fact, since Realme UI is based on ColorOS, it wouldn't be wrong to say that everything looks quite similar to what I recently saw on the Oppo Find X3 Pro that was running ColorOS 12. Now, like ColorOS 12, you get plenty of new personalization features, including what Realme calls the Smart Theming Engine, which lets you set the colors of your interface to whatever you like. You can even have them select colors from a wallpaper so that whenever you change it, the colors of the interface will change to match. Apart from this, there's the ultimate personalization feature called Sketchpad AOD. It's been inspired by the Canvas AOD on Oxygen OS 11 and lets you turn a picture of yourself into a custom wallpaper for the always-on display. There's also Floating Window 2.0, which allows you to turn apps into, well, floating windows for better multitasking. You can enable this from the smart sidebar, or you can swipe up from the bottom and push the app into the upper part of the screen. This only works on supported apps though, and while the native Videos app and Netflix work fine for playing videos in the background, apps like YouTube do not support this feature yet. When it comes to privacy, Realme has really upped its game with this new operating system. First up, there's the privacy dashboard that Android 12 brings, which lets you monitor each app's usage and what permissions they've used and at what point. You can change these permissions on the fly and use the dashboard to see if any app is using features on your phone that you'd rather it not use. You can also disable the microphone and camera completely at any time you want, but it's worth noting that while ColorOS 12 has quick toggles in the swipe down menu for this feature, in Realme UI 3.0 you're going to have to do this in the Settings app. Apart from this, you can erase private information captured on an image when sharing it so as to not reveal the location, timestamp and camera model, and you can choose to give apps either your precise or approximate location. Realme has also worked to bring a better user experience in Realme UI 3.0 in the form of optimization. Realme claims there's less memory fragmentation and more utilization, while apps launch 13% quicker due to smarter resource allocation. Moreover, memory usage is down by a claimed 30% and battery life has been improved by 12%. Overall, the interface runs quite smoothly, even if that is partly down to the 12GB RAM and Snapdragon 888 chipset on this Realme GT. For Indian users enrolled in the Early Access program, Realme UI 3.0 will be pushed to Realme GT 5G devices in October 2021. The Realme GT Master Edition, GT Neo2 5G, X7 Max and Realme 8 Pro will receive the update in December 2021. Other devices including the X7 Pro, Narzo 50A, Narzo 30 and more will get the update in Q1 next year, while the X7, Realme 8 5G, Narzo 30 Pro 5G and Realme 8S will get Realme UI 3.0 in Q2 2022. All in all, Realme UI 3.0 feels more polished and productive than the previous iteration, and I'm glad that the brand has integrated quite a few useful features from ColorOS 12. Android 12's privacy enhancements have also been integrated quite well, making this one of the nicest skins out there right now.
This is the Realme GT Neo2. This phone starts at only Rs 31,999, but it definitely looks like a flagship. It feels like a flagship and it performs like one too. Wait, is this a flagship? Before I answer that question, make sure you hit that like button and do subscribe to our channel to not miss out on any of our future reviews. We've been sent this new black color for review, but if you're after something flashier, then there's a really cool neo green color option as well. But I prefer this subtle finish more. It's a sleek looking phone and gets a beautiful matte AG glass finish on the back that doesn't attract many fingerprints. The camera bump on the other hand has this mirror-like finish which works really well in contrast to the back. The side frame is plastic but feels premium. Although the phone weighs 200 grams, in-hand feel is excellent because of the thin frame and overall sleek design. On the bottom you have the charging port, the speaker grill and the SIM tray. The power button is on the right and volume buttons are on the left, and the top just has a mic cutout. The display has a punch hole camera cutout to the left and pretty thin bezels all around. The display is the real star of the show here. This is a 6.62-inch Samsung E4 AMOLED panel. In Realme's own words, as long as you're not Samsung, Sony or Apple, this is the absolute best display you can get on any smartphone. The 120Hz refresh rate coupled with the 600Hz touch sampling rate makes using the screen a very smooth experience. This also has 1300 nits of peak brightness, something you usually only see in much more expensive smartphones, meaning that outdoor usage is absolutely no problem at all. This display is an absolute treat for watching any kind of content. Colors are extremely vivid, contrast is fantastic, and it has support for HDR10+ and all that. Although do note that Netflix doesn't yet support HDR on this phone, but that should be fixed with an update. The stereo speakers also help a lot when watching movies or shows. Sound output is not completely equalized between the two. The bottom speaker is still louder, but still the stereo setup helps considerably with making the sound feel larger. With smartphones, there are two important performance metrics: how fast the phone goes and how long it can hold that level of performance. Having the absolute fastest chip on a phone is of little use if it's going to throttle aggressively after 10 minutes of heavy use. Well, the Realme GT Neo2 does not have that problem at all. The Snapdragon 870 chipset in this phone is flagship grade. It flies through everything from photo and video editing to heavy 3D games like Call of Duty or even general camera operations. What's really impressive here is that the GT Neo2 can hold this level of performance for a very long time. In a 20-minute stress test benchmark, the phone showed zero signs of throttling and performed at 99% of its peak performance throughout. This is an incredible level of stable performance that's quite hard to find even in the fastest phones. Realme has put in a vapor chamber cooling system on this phone. This is the biggest cooling system they've ever used in a phone, and they're also using diamond thermal gel material for heat dissipation. All of this is very effective. Now, do note that the back of this phone does get a little warm, but that's good. You want the back surface to be warm, not the insides, and it never gets uncomfortably hot. All of this means that the Realme GT Neo2 is one of the best gaming phones on the market with zero caveats. This is one of my favorite phones to play Call of Duty Mobile on because its 600Hz touch sampling rate leads to an extremely smooth response time. It also runs at very high graphics and max frame rate, so the game looks incredible. And if you prefer some more demanding RPG action from Genshin Impact, it absolutely flies through that at medium settings and 60 FPS. Again, even after 30 to 40 minutes of Genshin Impact, there's no large performance hit. If you want the most out of your games, you can also activate the GT mode, which optimizes everything for maximum performance and also looks cool. You can get the Realme GT Neo2 with up to 12GB RAM and up to 256GB UFS 3.1 storage. The Realme GT Neo2 gets a 64MP primary camera, an 8MP ultra-wide and a 2MP macro camera. The camera experience on this device is a little mixed. The sensor is really nice and gets in a lot of detail. Dynamic range is pretty nice, and even in low light the camera can take in a lot of light and make a pretty bright picture. But the color processing algorithm can go haywire sometimes, leading to either oversaturated or undersaturated colors, which don't look much like the actual scene. The color processing can be fine-tuned further though, and I would really like to see this fixed in an update. Realme's camera app though is very feature heavy and gives you a lot of different modes to play around with. Among them are the bokeh flare portrait and AI color portrait, which automatically colors in the subject while making the background black and white. The starry mode takes great nightscapes, while dual view video lets you shoot from the back and front camera simultaneously. Coming to video, this phone can shoot at up to 4K 60fps, although you only get stabilization at 1080p. Video does have some of the same color processing issues. The front camera also takes decent shots both indoors and outdoors, although you might get some more natural results if you turn off the HDR processing. The Realme GT Neo2 runs Realme UI 2.0 based on Android 11. This is a lightly reskinned version of ColorOS 11, which brings over many of the most useful features like the smart sidebar and the screen off gestures. Realme has said that this phone will get Realme UI 3.0 based on Android 12 in an update in December. Battery life is consistently pretty good on the GT Neo 2. With some heavy usage and the screen set to 120Hz, the 5000 mAh battery gave me between 6 to 7 hours of screen on time on one charge. And with the included 65-watt super dart charger, you can go from 0 to 100 in just 36 minutes. The Realme GT Neo 2 starts from Rs 31,999, but it definitely makes you feel like you're using a flagship. The look and feel is very premium, the screen is absolutely gorgeous, it lasts for a long time, and there's no questioning the performance of this phone. The camera's color processing could do with a bit of work, but if performance is what's important to you, this is a terrific option. Hi guys, you're watching the EJ Tech Show. My name is Deepith, and today I have with me the Realme 4K Smart Google TV Stick. Now, apart from that really long name, this device has a lot of fancy streaming features for a low price of Rs 2,999. Before I proceed with this review though, make sure you like this video and do subscribe to our channel to not miss out on any of our reviews. The Realme Stick has a really simple but elegant design. The plastic body is all black and won't look out of place in most home setups. In the box, apart from the stick and the remote, you get a power adapter and cable and a small HDMI extension. This still uses a micro USB port for power, and I would have liked to see a Type-C, but that's pretty common for most streaming devices. Under the hood, you get a quad-core processor coupled with 2GB RAM and 8GB of internal storage. 8GB is pretty good to support all varieties of apps and games you can download from the Play Store, and the streaming stick is not really meant to act as a local media playback device. If you really want to stream your local media files, you can use solutions like using a casting app or set up a Plex server. The Realme Smart Stick supports the HDMI 2.1 standard, and it can stream content at up to 4K 60fps and has support for HDR10+. Of course, you will need a TV that supports all of these things as well to enjoy the highest quality. The remote gets this tapered design which makes it really easy to hold and features a standard circular 4-way navigation system with a central button. Along with the power, back and home buttons, you also get a dedicated mute key and a settings button. There are also some hotkeys to streaming apps like Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube and YouTube Music. Down at the bottom are the volume controls and a dedicated Google Assistant button. This is actually the first streaming device in India to launch with the new Google TV interface instead of the more standard Android TV. Realme has not meddled with the Google TV interface at all, giving you a very stock experience which I really appreciate. In fact, you even set this up with the Google Home app instead of the Realme Link app. Now, Google TV is basically this fancy new launcher and home screen which puts content front and center. At the top, you'll get personalized recommendations, although only from Apple TV, Prime Video and Hotstar. It does not support personalized recommendations from Netflix. You also get a continue watching feature right from the home screen, which also works with the same apps, and some rows of recommendations after that. What is pretty remarkable is the speed of operation here. Navigation is extremely smooth, and I never once faced any sort of stutter or lag when browsing through available content or starting streams. The Google TV interface is new, but it still runs on the latest Android TV OS 11 in the background. The Realme Smart Stick comes preloaded with all sorts of streaming apps which should cover all your needs, but of course you do have access to the Play Store for Android TV and all the apps it offers. You can access the store from the Apps tab, which has a search bar and some category filters as well. What really makes the Realme Google TV Stick stand out for me is the open nature of Android TV. As opposed to competitors who have more locked down streaming boxes or sticks, here you have access to the complete Play Store and all of its file managers and tools and networking apps. Finally, the last tab you'll see here is Library, which is a pretty nifty feature. Basically, if on your laptop or phone or anywhere you're signed into Google really, you search for a show and tap Watch List when the listing comes up, it will automatically get added to this list on your streaming stick. This works with basically every service, even Netflix is supported here, and I found this extremely useful to basically collect your watch list in one place. It really helps with that "what do I watch next" existential question that we all face regularly. And of course, you do get an inbuilt Chromecast with this, so if you want to cast content from your phone or laptop, that works perfectly as well. At a price of Rs 2,999, the Realme 4K Smart Google TV Stick is a very easy recommendation. If you have an old 4K TV which is good quality but the software is getting pretty slow, or you just want the latest Google TV interface and all of its features along with support for HDR, this device is one of the best streaming solutions you can get.